Oh, who, me? You're asking me about like perimenopause and like how it destroys your life and how it destroys your mental and how you suffer so much in silence because no matter how many times you explain what you're going through, if they haven't been through it, they don't get it. And nothing can be more frustrating than being misunderstood or uh, dismissed as if your feelings don't matter. So, case in point, when I initially started having symptoms, which I didn't know were symptoms because it was like this chronic depressive thing that I was going through. And at the moment, at the time, there was actually nothing for me to be significantly depressed about. But for whatever reason, I could not shake this feeling of just utter despair. I've always wanted to have children. So when I was going through this moment, I was like, you know what? It's time for like something significantly different to happen in my life. Speaking with partners and stuff like that. The topic of having children came up, but it wasn't me trying to, have a child because of my mental state and I wanted a companion. It was me saying like, you've done everything and you're coming to a place full circle where certain things are missing in your life and you've always wanted to be a parent. This is one of the things that is missing in your life. You wanted to complete your degree. This is one of the things missing in your life. So this was like on my normal path. So I go and speak with the physician's assistant that I was working with, or she was the one that was available. And I tell her, hey, I'm getting up there in age. These are the things that are my concerns. I was like, is there a way we could do blood work and figure out like what my levels are? What are my chances of getting pregnant? Because I'm like in my mid to late 30s at this point. And she was just like very dismissive, like, well, have you tried? Are you infertile because you tried and you didn't succeed or whatever? And the honest Abe in me is like, well, tried a few things, but like nothing's really working. And I was like, but I also just want to like check my levels, like completely been dismissed. Like we don't just do elective stuff like that unless you're having issues and blah, blah, blah. So in hindsight, I'm trying to beat myself up, but I wish I would have like fought for myself, but I just kind of let it go. I was like, she's probably right. I'm probably like overthinking it or whatever. So like years go by, well, not years, months go by, like maybe nine months go by. And then I started like developing like more symptoms and I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. But I would be in class at the time. I was in class, and I would just get hot. I'm burning up, and then I'm cold, and I'm burning up, and I'm cold. And then this went on for about a year, and I'm like, my joints were like kind of achy, but I was also working out or not working out as much. So I'm thinking like maybe it's the weight gain as to why my joints hurt, whatever. So fast forward to last year where I finally got the perimenopause diagnosis. Or last year or the year before last actually. So we're talking at 36. Devastating. Devastating. I was so hurt, y'all, because for whatever reason I never thought about going into menopause because I know it's a part of what happens, but like on down the road. Look at me now, I'm hot. On down the road. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. This is gonna happen eventually, but like, why would I be thinking about that in my 30s, right? Joke's on me. So I get the diagnosis or whatever, and before that, I had a biopsy done on some breast tissue that I found the lump, and I was just like, what is this? And turned out to be, insignificant, and everything was cool with that. So I'm thinking, cool, start the infertility journey. And as soon as I decided to start the journey, that's when my doctor looked at my labs because I finally got someone else. And because of the symptoms I was having, and I advocated for myself, and I was like, yeah, something's not right. And he was like, very sensitive to telling me the information, but he basically told me like, hey, with everything aligned in your age stuff, that he was like, I do believe you're in perimenopause. And this is something that someone could have told me, when I originally went, so that I could start preparing myself, because at the time I was still having a cycle. I'm just gonna discuss to you what that conversation was like. That conversation was very delicate. He was very nice, but I kind of shut down, and I think I've been shut down emotionally ever since, because not only do you have the combativeness of trying to make sure that your body doesn't completely fall apart, but the hot flashes will drop anybody up a wall. Waking up completely soaked, in class, looking embarrassed. Everybody looking at me like, why are you sweating? I'm in the snow. It was so embarrassing. So some of the things that perimenopause or menopausal or perimenopause will take from you is your sleep, your sanity, your happiness, your joy, and your sense of fashion. Very difficult to wear makeup when you're sweating all the time. Very difficult to layer your clothes when you're hot all the time or freezing. Very difficult. My wardrobe has changed significantly. This is what I wear now: t-shirts and sweatpants. Because, like, I hate the way my body looks. I hate it. Do I go to the gym? Yes. Am I running miles a day? Yes. I hate it. I do not, I want to be as real and as transparent as possible. So, because I want to validate somebody else going through this. You're not crazy. Like, it is horrible. It is horrible. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you could take this and you could take that. It doesn't matter what you take. You are still going to experience all the symptoms, and it is going to be trash. It is going to be horrible. And you're going to have to make sure that you stand 10 toes down when it comes to your mental health. You're going to have to make sure that you tell people, like, when you're upset, how you feel, when you're not. You're going to have to, the amount of people that I told I was in perimenopause who dismissed it and was like, no, you're too young. Don't tell me. Don't say that to anybody. If somebody, that's like me telling you I have cancer and you're like, no, you don't. Don't ever tell me that. Like, it pissed me off so bad, y'all. I have become so rigid and so, it's gonna make me cry. Because I used to be so bubbly. I used to love being outside and going hiking and, going to brunch and, doing all kinds of stuff. But now it's like I'm just fat, disgusting, sweaty slob of an individual. And your mind will tell you that. And so you have to keep constantly, every day, multiple times a day, I have to constantly tell myself that I'm not crazy, that is okay, it's gonna pass. But God, is it exhausting. Oh my God, it is so unbelievably exhausting. If you're an ambitious person and then you get this random diagnosis of like perimenopause before you've had children, before, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get this random diagnosis and it's just like, what am I supposed to even do with that? You know what I mean? So like, there's so many things that I was doing. It's kind of like when COVID happened, like when people had just opened businesses, people had spent their life savings, everybody was getting ready for the life that they wanted. And then COVID happened and people lost everything. And like having to rebuild, like people really unalived themselves during that process because they were just like, I don't even know where to go from here. I've literally spent my entire life savings from here. I literally waited so long, and this was the year I opened up my business, and this was the year I was going to have everything, and blah, blah, blah. And then COVID happened and everything shut down and there's nothing you could do. That's what this feels like. This feels like, because it comes out of nowhere. It comes out of absolutely nowhere. But the thing though is I remember feeling one day like why I couldn't process a thought. And I have ADHD. So I'm like kind of used to my scattered brainness. But I was like, I couldn't process a thought. I couldn't remember anything. Like, I'm sleeping all the time. I'm like, what is going on? So I'm assigning all of that to depression because depression has the same symptoms. Foggy brain, forgetfulness, sleepiness, you know what I'm saying? Like, so irritability, like depression has all that. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is what's happening. Oh my God, y'all, it is the worst experience I've ever been through on a personal level because it literally takes everything in my power. Whenever I have a hot flash, it takes everything in my power because it does something to me chemically. I don't know what it is, but every time I get hot, I have to tell myself like, you deserve to be here. It's okay. People still love you. Like, I literally be wanting to like jump off a cliff or something. Like, not even metaphorically, like it drives me that crazy. It drives me that mad. And then right afterwards, I'm just fine. It's like PMS on steroids. Like if you've ever had PMS, like when you're tripping, you're irritable, you're hungry, imagine if somebody amplified that times 100. Just imagine. It is the absolute worst shit ever. It is so difficult and so aggravating. Then I'm like, people want to hang out. I don't want to hang out. I'm an extroverted person. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. This is the first year that I've actually and it's only February, decided to actually try to accept it and figure out how to live within it versus letting it control me, because I know now that there's nothing I can do. The chances of me having kids, when people talk about having kids, don't have kids. You're surrounded by a lot of people they hate their children, don't like their children, they had them too early, all this stuff. Meanwhile, you're sitting here I give anything. I would give anything to be in a position where I'm laying up about to give birth. You know what I mean? But that just being hijacked from you, and people are the amount of women that are going into perimenopause is staggering. Menopause typically happens in women in their 50s. Perimenopause usually happens in their 40s. There are people going into perimenopause right now at 28, 26. Do you have any idea how young that is to go into perimenopause before you get into full-blown menopause? That's crazy. So I wanted to make this video and to be as transparent as possible that it is the worst crap ever. It causes divorce. It causes breakups. People don't want to hang around you. You don't want to be around them. You're not going to get any sleep. You're going to gain weight. You're going to swell up. Your body's going to completely change no matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you, it is the most overwhelming, unannounced experience you'll ever experience. And then you'll have so many waves. It's constantly being, okay, significantly depressed, okay, you might have a good moment. And it's the most bipolar experience it is horrible. Don't let people lie to you. It is rough. Have a support system. Ask all the questions you need to ask. I had never in my life, at my age of 33, 34, I had never heard of perimenopause. It's never, because I've never even heard the phrase. I've only ever heard about menopause. And I was embarrassed to not know that. And I'm like, why have nobody ever said anything? How come I didn't know about it? Blah, blah, blah. And I can't say the information is not out there. It's just, if I don't know to go look for it, I don't know to go look for it. And I was so embarrassed because I'd never heard of it. And then I'm like, what the hell? Why is this not being shouted from the rooftops for everybody? But I'm again, a lot of people probably knew, but I know there's a significant amount of young women who have no idea how little time you have. There's a chance that your body could just spontaneously go into perimenopause. It could be family history, it could be something, a surgery, it could be anything that could cause you to go into perimenopause, which makes you go into menopause significantly earlier, which causes, got heart issues, joint issues, depression, anxiety, everything is just amplified. So imagine going through that for years. I went on a trip, y'all. I had the worst 2 trips of my life at 2 of the most amazing places you can go. I went to Barcelona, Spain, and I went to Dubai. Both of those trips, nobody would have known it. I cried every day. Because these were trips of a lifetime that I could not fully enjoy because my entire system was going absolutely crazy. It's so bad to the point where now I'll plan an event and I'm just do I even want to, and I'll talk myself out of the event because, I don't want to be the person seen there, fanning or whatever. And then also it's not attractive. You know what I mean? So if you're single, my God, do you feel well, I guess I'm screwed for life because people associate menopause with older women as if they're just discounted. So it's kind of who's going to want me? Who's going to want to be around me? And then if you find out you're in perimenopause in your 20s or early 30s and you're infertile, a lot of people still want to have kids. So now you're now I'm walking around infertile, or we're going to have fertility issues. It's such a huge process and mind fuck to deal with. It is extremely difficult. And I don't want anybody else to lie to you guys. This is a very vulnerable moment for me. I haven't came out in public and said anything about it, but I was watching videos and I'm just like, these young women that are speaking out about perimenopause are helping a lot of people, and I want to be a part of that process. I want to be a part of letting people know, like, it sucks, it's hard, you need a community. Do your research, prepare yourself, freeze your eggs. If you don't learn nothing else from me, freeze your eggs. If you can't afford it, find a way, because if you want to have your own biological children, your clock could be running out at this very moment. You could have one more year before you are completely out of options. So don't be like me. I am going to talk to all the younger women in my life personally and let them know. I share my story with them, family members. If you yourself are going into perimenopause or you're having these symptoms, don't hide them, because you're doing the younger girls in your family a disservice. You need to talk to them about this stuff so that they can be better prepared. Like, don't, when I found out that 2 people in my family had gone through this before me and didn't say anything, that hurt so bad, because why would y'all not say anything? Why would you not communicate? Like, this is a thing that is in our history, in our lineage. You know, you do your friends or your family a disservice when you don't tell them these things. So don't do that. Don't be like that. I'm sorry, y'all, this is my dog. Don't do that. Be a voice for the people who don't know any better. I hope this video reaches somebody that is either going through it or second guessing whether they're going through it, or not going through it and know that it's around the corner. I would be more than happy to answer y'all questions about, like, my experience, but I just really had to share this because my brain, I was just upstairs trying to do laundry, and then another hot flash came, and then I'm just like, and like I told you, when I have a hot flash, it infuriates me. Like, it makes me so mad, because, like, I just want to do regular stuff. I just want to sit down and type up a paper, or I just want to wash the dishes, or I want to put up the laundry, or I want to be able to go out to eat, you know what I'm saying? And not be the person with the fan there blowing on me, or, sweating, eating breakfast. Like, it's not attractive. And it's like, no matter what I take, no matter what I do, sometimes stuff just doesn't work for everybody. So this is a process you're just going to have to go through, and it can last for years. There have been people that have been going through it for 10 years. I promise you, there is no way on this planet that I can go through another 365 days like this. There's no way. I cannot do it. I am literally going to lose it. So yeah, perimenopause sucks. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Not every medication is going to work. It's something that you cannot control. It's something that you're going to have to go through. Make sure that you have a support system. Be kind to yourself. Get a therapist. You're going to need it. You're going to need it 100%. Then you eventually just have to learn to adapt to it, because if not, you're going to lose it. You are going to lose it. Try every day to get back to the original you. Try every day, try to get back to the original you. If that's the best version of you that you like the most, like, try to get back to that, because if you don't, I promise you, you'll change into somebody you don't even recognize. My self-esteem is at the lowest I have ever had in my entire life. I hate looking in the mirror. I didn't even want to do this video. I didn't want to do the video. And I'm like, okay, let me just wear black. I didn't get cute for the video, because, like, me trying to even remotely dress up or convince myself, like, it's too much. It's too much. Regardless of what you see, regardless of this tells me something different. And it's not my fault. I cannot control it. And I mean, I can control my reaction to it, but I can't control the initial thought. So, like, I am doing my very best to beg and plead with you guys. Prepare yourself. This is not a joke. It's not a game. It is rough. And if you're in a relationship, show them this video. Show them another video. Y'all need to, if you are in a relationship right now with a man and you have not discussed perimenopause or menopause, it is time to pull off that blinder and have the conversation, because you know how many people divorce during this process because they cannot handle it. They cannot handle the mood swings. They can't handle the depression. They can't handle the anxiety. They can't. A lot of people gain so much weight, and a lot of people are like, oh, you just eat right, and they're listen, your hormones plummet into the abyss. That's like telling a man that there's something he could do about his male pattern baldness. You're gonna lose your hair. Like, male pattern baldness is a thing. It's not for everybody, but it is a thing. I've known people that hit male pattern baldness in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Then I've had friends who hit it in their 30s, and they're just like, wait, like, so, and when men lose their hair, it ages them. You know what I mean? So, like, be prepared. So this is, I BS you not. If you have not had a conversation about perimenopause and you're in a relationship, you need to bring it to your spouse's attention. You need to have a conversation and let them know that if you thought me having a cycle was crazy, get ready for this perimenopause thing that's going to happen to me, or this menopause thing it's going to happen to me, God willing, we live long enough. There's going to be certain stuff that you hate about yourself, no matter what they say. You are going to have moments where you are literally feeling batshit crazy. Like, you're going to feel cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're going to feel like, what in the world? Like, I have literally had so many moments where I have literally was like, I'm going to have to stay silent. I'm going to have to just stay in this bed. I'm going to have to just stay in this room. Because if I open my mouth, it's not going to. And I felt myself doing that when I was having a discussion with somebody, and I was really snappy. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm a very chill, calm, cool, collected person. Like, but I felt myself like I can't hold my tongue no more, because my anxiousness was so bad, and my nerves were so torn that I just didn't give a fuck no more. I did not give a fuck anymore. I had zero fucks to give. And even though people were like, oh, that's where you should be. If you are generally a nice person, even the amount that I'm cussing now, this wasn't normal. Like, I literally have changed. I have literally changed. And now I'm trying to, like, figure out who this person is. Like, right now, you want to know the biggest issue that I'm having, like, at this very moment? The fact that I can feel when I put my arm down. Like, I've always had a slender body, but now I can feel like fat right here when I put my arm down. And I'm just like, do I starve myself to get the body back, or do I accept this as a part of menopause and figure out how to be my best at this weight? It is horrible. It is trash. Don't let body tell you any different. I'm not trying to depress you, but I want you to be prepared that you're about to go through a whirlwind of a roller coaster, and it is not going to be fun on most days. So make sure that you prepare yourself. Freeze your eggs. I don't care if you are 1000% sure that you do not want children, freeze your eggs. If you're unsure whether or not you want children, freeze your eggs. If you know for a fact that you want children but you're not ready for them, freeze your eggs. Do it regardless, because you don't want to miss the opportunity to have your own children one day, possibly. You don't want to do that. That is going to be one of the hardest things you're going to have to go through and process, and you're never going to forgive yourself. And no matter what you do, no matter what anybody says, it's not going to take away the fact that you didn't advocate for yourself, or you didn't take care of yourself, or you didn't put yourself first enough for you to be in a position where you can have the family that you've always wanted. I may or may not delete this. I may or may not upload this. If I do upload it and you see it, I may delete it. I don't know. It's a really vulnerable moment for me, but I was literally about to lose it, and I know for a fact that if I'm going through it, that's one thing that I know for a fact. If I'm going through it, then somebody else is 1000% going through it. So, thanks for listening. Subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm not that kind of person. I will like to continue to tell my story if my condition allows me to. Again, if you guys want this second part or want more information, just let me know. But it's a very vulnerable moment for me, and I try to be transparent. I can't ask for vulnerability from other people if I'm not willing to do it myself. Thank you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something again. Like, if you want to keep this conversation going or ask me anything, just let me know. All right. Bye, guys.